Chapter 23:12. The myriad-colored water also comes from the outside world. With the clear energy enveloping him, the dragon roars in Lin Moyu's ears became even louder. He felt his luck surge once more, breaking through the limit and reaching another level. Using the explosive luck technique to check, Lin Moyu could no longer see any values, only a bright red expanse.
Xiao Wu has broken through to the Saint Sovereign Realm.
Lin Moyu knew the source of the clear energy. It was Xiao Wu enhancing his luck after breaking through to the Saint's sovereign realm. This ability, looking across the entire human race, only Xiao Wu could achieve. With a smile on his lips, Lin Moyu said,
With enhanced luck and my explosive luck technique, I should be able to find some clues.
As both luck and fortune surged, even his soul became much clearer. Lin Moyu randomly chose a direction and opened the space gate. He didn't know his direction, and it didn't matter. He followed his instincts. The direction kept changing, and the outer domain was vast and boundless, allowing him to roam freely. After another 100,000 light-year traversal, Lin Moyu suddenly saw a city. This city was already in ruins, its buildings completely destroyed. However, Lin Moyu could still recognize that this city was from ancient times, capable of supporting both civilian life and military operations. The current divine city of the human race was built based on ancient cities, and Mu Nanner's Soul City also bore a strong resemblance to it. Soul City is a magical treasure that can house souls, possessing both virtual and real power, existing in both illusion and reality. This broken city, however, was an ancient battlefield. It was evident that it had experienced countless battles. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been so devastated. Its former glory had been completely buried by time, now drifting aimlessly in the boundless outer domain. Lin Moyu sighed.
I'll take you home.
The containment talisman flew out, and he intended to bring this ancient human city back. No matter how broken the ancient city was, it was once a treasure of the human race. Since he had found it, he couldn't let it drift outside. The containment talisman expanded its vast space, capable of housing an entire star system. Though the ancient city was large, it could still be contained. Watching the ancient city gradually shrink and enter the containment talisman, Lin Moyu couldn't help but sigh.
There are still many unsolved mysteries from ancient times. The origins of those ancient battlefields in the divine city star domain, and their connection to Teacher Ming, remain puzzling. Truly perplexing.
After storing the ancient city, Lin Moyu set off again, searching aimlessly. The dragon-seeking orb still hadn't found any trace of the fourth dragon pearl, but Lin Moyu wasn't anxious. Finding a dragon pearl wasn't easy. Day after day, Lin Moyu continued to explore the outer domain. Not only him, but he also released a massive number of skeleton generals. Although their number was just a drop in the ocean compared to the vast outer domain, it was better than nothing. Every once in a while, a clear energy would descend. Xiao Wu continuously enhanced Lin Moyu's luck, and the explosive luck technique never ceased. In this manner, he flew aimlessly for 5 years, encountering several remnants from ancient times, but they were all broken. Time had worn them down, and even perfect treasures from back then had turned into piles of junk after 2 million years. 5 years later, Lin Moyu was over 3 million light-years away from the inner domain, with only 1 million light-years left to the edge of the Great World. Here, he could vaguely sense the aura of the Sea of Realms. The Great World's primordial power had significantly weakened, losing control over the edge regions. The power of the Sea of Realms seeped in, making this area quite dangerous. Upon arriving here, Lin Moyu became much more cautious. The sea monster in the Sea of Realms had left a deep impression on him. Fortunately, this wasn't the Sea of Realms, so his undying undead and other techniques still worked.
If only some primordial crystals could come through the Sea of Realms.
Lin Moyu felt he was being overly optimistic. Primordial crystals were extremely rare, and there were likely many strong beings searching for them in the Sea of Realms. As he got closer to the edge of the Great World, the aura of the Sea of Realms became more pronounced. A month later, Lin Moyu suddenly sensed a familiar aura. In the dim void, a colorful light appeared. The colorful light was extremely eye-catching in the darkness. Lin Moyu quickly crossed billions of kilometers to get closer.
Myriad-colored water?
Lin Moyu was stunned. Myriad-colored water had appeared here. Myriad-colored water is known as the ancestor of all waters. He had seen the scene of myriad-colored water forming from the myriad immortal waterfall when crossing the Sea of Realms. That giant gourd, once seen, could never be forgotten. At that time, he found it strange why myriad-colored water would appear in the dark void. Logically, myriad-colored water shouldn't appear there. Until now, he finally understood. Here, a huge crack had formed in space, filled with the dense aura of the Sea of Realms. The power of the Sea of Realms flowed through the crack, while the great world was powerless to repair it. Myriad-colored water flowed through this crack, dropping into the great world, and then disappearing. Myriad-colored water doesn't stay in the surface space. It directly enters the deep space. With the laws of space fluctuating, Lin Moyu immediately entered the deep space. In the deep space, he saw myriad-colored water flowing like an underground river, heading far away. Lin Moyu followed the underground river, but soon lost its trail. Myriad-colored water seemed to pierce through the deep space, flowing to another place in a way even Lin Moyu couldn't comprehend. Lin Moyu had an epiphany.
Countless laws converge into that gourd, flowing out as myriad-colored water. The myriad-colored water in the gourd flows to unknown places. If I'm lucky, some might flow here. Through this crack, it enters the great world, becoming the myriad-colored water here. Myriad-colored water continuously evolves, eventually forming the ancestral water well, periodically erupting in the dark void. By this time, myriad-colored water has already absorbed the power of the great world, differing from the original myriad-colored water. The ancestral water well I obtained can continuously produce myriad-colored water in the great world, but it would be useless in the Sea of Realms.
Lin Moyu felt he had figured it out, understanding the situation. Myriad-colored water wasn't originally from the great world. It also came from the outside. After entering the great world, it underwent some changes. The myriad-colored water before him differed from the myriad-colored water he had obtained. Clearly, the myriad-colored water before him was more primordial and powerful. Before absorbing the aura of the great world, myriad-colored water was the true ancestor of all waters. Lin Moyu's heart stirred.
If the ancestral water well could contain the primordial myriad-colored water, could it undergo a transformation?
Acting on his thought, Lin Moyu immediately took out the ancestral water well and placed it in the crack to collect the primordial myriad-colored water. The frequency of myriad-colored water drops wasn't high and was quite irregular. Sometimes only one drop would fall in an hour, and sometimes one drop every 10 minutes. Lin Moyu wasn't in a hurry. He patiently waited for the myriad-colored water to drip into the well. Day by day, as more myriad-colored water dripped in, the ancestral water well finally began to change. 2313 Chapter 2313. When fate brings us together for the third time. The original myriad-colored water dripped very slowly, averaging only about 30 drops a day. Lin Moyu waited for almost 30 days, and when he had collected 1,000 drops, the ancestral water well finally began to change. Brilliant colors erupted from the well, enveloping Lin Moyu in a kaleidoscope of hues. A magnificent scene appeared before Lin Moyu's eyes once again, showcasing the spectacular sight of countless waterfalls converging. Various laws cascaded down from the waterfalls, ultimately gathering into a gourd. The gourd was riddled with holes, and as these laws entered and circulated within it, they transformed into myriad-colored water, flowing out through the holes to unknown destinations. Lin Moyu had seen this scene when he ascended to the Bien realm, and he speculated that this myriad-colored water might flow to various worlds. Suddenly, a stream of myriad-colored water magnified before his eyes, and the scene abruptly changed. Lin Moyu realized that what he was seeing was the myriad-colored water right in front of him. In the vision, the stream of myriad-colored water flowed out from the gourd, traversed a fantastical space, and then dispersed. Part of it continued to penetrate through time and space, eventually arriving here. Lin Moyu finally understood how the myriad-colored water before him had come to be. The myriad-colored water originated from that gourd, flowing out through one of its countless holes. And it wasn't even the entirety, just a small part of it, almost negligible.
That gourd can gather countless laws into myriad-colored water. It is the true treasure.
Even the diluted myriad-colored water he had obtained had such miraculous effects. Now, having obtained the primordial myriad-colored water, its effects would undoubtedly be even more astonishing. The scene before him changed again, and Lin Moyu saw the gourd once more. His eyes narrowed sharply. This time, the scene was different. There were more people around the gourd, both men and women, about a dozen in total. They held treasures resembling wells, collecting the myriad-colored water beneath the gourd. They looked as happy as children, laughing and playing, and the treasures in their hands were identical to the ancestral water well. Clearly, the evolution of the myriad-colored water into the ancestral water well was related to this. The gourd had a spirit, and the myriad-colored water it produced seemed to have gained some spirituality as well. Lin Moyu was somewhat astonished. Where exactly was that gourd, and why were people able to collect the myriad-colored water? He vaguely felt that the place must be extremely mysterious and that he shouldn't pry, as it might be dangerous. At this moment, a gentle voice sounded.
As the saying goes, things happen in threes. Little friend, seeing this scene for the third time means it is fate. Let me give you a drop of the essence of the ancestral water as a token of goodwill. If you ever come in person, I will invite you for tea.
The sudden voice shook Lin Moyu's mind. He then saw an elderly man with kind eyes and a gentle face looking at him from the clouds behind the gourd. Though far away, the old man could see him through time and space. Not only did the old man see him, but he also allowed Lin Moyu to see him. With a flick of the old man's finger, a drop of essence flew from his fingertip, traversing time and space, and landed in Lin Moyu's hand. The scene before him completely dissipated, leaving no light or gourd. If not for the essence of the ancestral water in his hand, Lin Moyu would have thought he had just experienced a dream. The void returned to darkness, with the only light being the slowly dripping myriad-colored water. The primordial myriad-colored water continued to fall into the ancestral water well, transforming it. The transformation would take some time, but Lin Moyu was patient. He could wait. He could feel the ancestral water well growing stronger. This experience taught Lin Moyu that the true name of the myriad-colored water was actually ancestral water. Myriad-colored water was just the name given to it in the great world, but its true name was ancestral water. After being diluted, ancestral water became myriad-colored water, with a significant difference between the two. He eagerly anticipated the full power of the ancestral water. But before that, Lin Moyu focused on the essence of the ancestral water. The profound old man had said he would give a drop of the essence as a token of goodwill and mentioned that Lin Moyu had seen the gourd 3 times.
Once when I ascended to the Bien realm, once when the ancestral water well was activated, and once after understanding its origin. That's 3 times. Things happen in threes. Seeing the gourd 3 times means it is fate, and he knows about all 3 times. What kind of place is that? It feels terrifying.
Lin Moyu's thoughts were chaotic as he examined the essence of the ancestral water. The essence was only the size of a fingernail and did not emit the colorful light of the ancestral water. It was incredibly pure, and Lin Moyu could feel its purity, the purest thing he had ever encountered. The essence of the ancestral water, as the name suggests, is the essence of the ancestral water. Ancestral water is extremely complex, gathering countless laws. But the essence of the ancestral water is extremely pure, pure to the extreme. Lin Moyu once again understood the concept of
extremes meet.
Similar to the undying law. He studied it for a long time but couldn't make sense of it. The essence of the ancestral water was too advanced, beyond his current level of understanding.
I'll ask the heavenly dragon if I get the chance. Perhaps he knows. And Terry's definitely knows, but who knows when he'll come out? He's always delaying, too slow.
Lin Moyu believed Antares would eventually come out, but the timing was uncertain. A year later, the ancestral water well was finally filled with ancestral water, exactly 10,000 drops. The ancestral water well also completed its transformation, becoming more exquisite and beautiful.
It looks exactly like the wells those children held. Interesting. I wonder how powerful the ancestral water is.
Lin Moyu wanted to test it, but suddenly noticed that the gap through which the ancestral water dripped was gradually closing, about to disappear. This gap had existed for countless years, since ancient times. Why was it suddenly closing now? Lin Moyu instinctively thought of the old man.
It must be his doing. Who is he, and why is he doing this? But on the bright side, if it really is his doing, at least he let me fill the well. What is the old man's identity? He seems to know everything, similar to the old man in the green robe from the small world.
The two were not the same person, Lin Moyu was certain, but they shared many similarities, both being unfathomable. The gap quickly disappeared, and from then on, the great world no longer had a supply of ancestral water. Without ancestral water, there would be no myriad-colored water. Fortunately, the great world had accumulated countless years' worth of myriad-colored water, an amount so vast it would take a long time to deplete. The myriad-colored water evolved into the ancestral water well, which essentially is myriad-colored water. The water in the well would regenerate with use until it was all used up. However, the primordial ancestral water in his hand would diminish with each use, and once gone, it would be irreplaceable unless he could access the gourd. Lin Moyu knew he couldn't reach that place.
Never mind, let's test its power.
With a flick of his finger, the undying flame exploded, and a skeleton king appeared in the starry sky. The skeleton king now had the combat power of a half-step supreme, and a very strong one at that, just a step away from being a true supreme. Even the former demon lord might not be a match for the skeleton king. Lin Moyu reluctantly took out a drop of the ancestral water and let it fall on the skeleton king. The skeleton king erupted in flames, and a terrifying aura shot into the sky. The Bone Law galaxy automatically appeared, transforming into a waterfall, and a bone world evolved behind the skeleton king, exuding terror.
Supreme!
2314 Chapter 23:14. The parents of Luo Shen, fellow Taoist, what is your surname? Witnessing the skeleton king stepping into the supreme realm in an extremely short time, Lin Moyu found it hard to believe. Previously, the skeleton king was just a step away from being a supreme at the peak of the half-step supreme level. The ancestral water significantly enhanced the skeleton king's combat power, allowing it to directly step into the supreme realm. Lin Moyu estimated, somewhat surprised, that the effect of the primordial myriad-colored water far exceeded his expectations.
This is just one drop. What if there's another drop?
Thinking this, he extravagantly threw out another drop of ancestral water. The second drop fell on the skeleton king, and its aura increased again. The skeleton king grew stronger, but the increase was not as significant as the first time. Lin Moyu estimated,
the skeleton king's combat power is now comparable to the bone battle formation.
With a thought, he released a third drop of myriad-colored water. The skeleton king's combat power increased again, but the increment was smaller this time. Then came the fourth drop and the fifth. The skeleton king's aura grew stronger and stronger. After 5 drops, it was almost at the mid-supreme level. According to Lin Moyu's knowledge, the strength of a supreme is roughly divided into low, mid, high, and peak levels. After receiving 5 drops of ancestral water, the skeleton king's strength was close to mid-supreme, which was its limit. Lin Moyu evaluated and thought,
if I don't care about the cost and continue using ancestral water, the skeleton king's combat power can be further enhanced, but the increment will become smaller and smaller. Even with more ancestral water, it might be impossible for the skeleton king to break through to mid-supreme. The effect of ancestral water is stronger than myriad-colored water, but its marginal effect is more apparent. There's no need to use too much.
Lin Moyu felt confident, knowing that using just 1 or 2 drops of ancestral water yielded the strongest effect. 3 to 5 drops would still be effective, but the effect would significantly diminish. If not pursuing the extreme, there's no need to use a 3rd drop. Overall, the existence of ancestral water allowed him to possess 25 skeleton kings comparable to Supremes. Ancestral water could be used in various scenarios, including all spells and battle formations. Lin Moyu considered various application scenarios and found that the existence of ancestral water at least doubled his combat power.
Compared to this, myriad-colored water is really weak. It's truly a good thing.
Obtaining ancestral water on this trip was an unexpected gain, and Lin Moyu felt immensely satisfied. He wasn't greedy, although he hadn't found the Ghost Clan or the Dragon Pearl. Finding ancestral water was already excellent. Boom! The starry sky shook, and Lin Moyu's soul was suddenly startled, sensing a change in the starry sky a light year away. The change was so intense that it could be felt even from a light year away. Even a battle between Saint Sovereigns would rarely have aftershocks that could be felt from a light year away. The starry sky continued to shake, rumbling incessantly. This rumbling couldn't be heard by ordinary people, only sensed by those with strong spiritual perception like Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu's heart stirred, and he immediately opened the space gate. The closer he got to the source, the more intense the shaking became, with the rumbling echoing in his soul like heavy hammers. The sound of water roared, and as Lin Moyu arrived, he frowned. The area had turned into a watery world, with the barrier of the great world seemingly broken, and water from the Sea of Realms was pouring in. The gap was so large that its edges couldn't be seen. Lin Moyu stood at a distance, muttering,
Although the Great World has lost most of its control here, the main body remains relatively intact. Such a large gap with water pouring in from the Sea of Realms shouldn't happen often.
He vaguely felt that the sudden appearance of such a large gap in the Great World wasn't simple. As the Sea of Realms churned, Lin Moyu suddenly sensed a spatial force, and a light shone from the Sea of Realms.
Someone's there.
In the pouring water from the Sea of Realms, there was someone. Before he could see clearly, the water exploded, and a strange fish, round like a ball, was blasted out, separated from the Sea of Realms. The strange fish roared in terror, its fins flailing wildly as if struggling. But its struggle was futile, as it was surrounded by spatial rules. The spatial rules twisted space, instantly sending it billions of miles away from the Sea of Realms. In the spatial distortion, a space gate opened billions of miles away, and 2 people rushed out, engaging the strange fish in battle. The strange fish struggled madly but was completely suppressed. The 2 worked in perfect harmony, one manipulating space to strangle and restrict the strange fish's movements, while the other wielded a sharp sword, continuously cutting wounds on the strange fish, seemingly trying to disembowel and slice it into pieces. Lin Moyu watched from a distance, squinting his eyes. Both were Saint Sovereigns, one a human male, the other a female resembling a human, manipulating spatial rules, a member of the Starry Sky Fish Clan. If she wasn't Luo Xin, her identity was obvious. The man was Luo Qitian, Luo Xin's father. The woman was Yulaner, Luo Xin's mother, and once a princess of the Starry Sky Fish Clan. Years ago, the 2 eloped to the outer domain. After many years, Luo Qitian returned alone, bringing back Luo Xin. Everyone thought Yulaner was dead because the Starry Sky Fish Clan had a short lifespan, even Saint Sovereigns living only 5,000 years, far less than humans. Later, Luo Qitian left again, and only Saint Sovereign How knew he went to find Yulaner, who wasn't dead. Luo Xin also knew, which is why she went to the outer domain after reaching the Saint Sovereign realm, searching for her parents. Both Yulaner and Luo Xin broke the 5,000-year lifespan curse of the Starry Sky Fish Clan. By age, Yulaner and Luo Qitian had lived for over 10,000 years. They never returned from the outer domain, and no one knew what they were doing there. The strange fish soon fell into a desperate situation under their siege. No matter how it resisted, it was futile, especially after leaving the Sea of Realms. Its aura quickly weakened, no match for the 2. The strange fish's injuries worsened, and after a few minutes, it was disemboweled and killed. Luo Qitian, holding a sharp sword, sliced off the strange fish's head with a blue flash. Then, the spatial rules exploded, shattering the strange fish's head, and they extracted a bone-like object. Lin Moyu watched from afar, noting that the bone extracted from the strange fish's head was as clear as jade. Quite extraordinary.
They killed the strange fish for this bone?
Lin Moyu thought, flying over. After obtaining the bone, Yulaner used spatial rules to bring Luo Qitian and the strange fish's body instantly before Lin Moyu. They had known of Lin Moyu's presence but didn't engage him during the battle. Lin Moyu greeted them.
Greetings, Senior Luo and Senior Lan. Wait a moment.
Luo Qitian casually tossed the strange fish's body back into the Sea of Realms, then took out a trident-like treasure. The two activated the treasure together, and it emitted a glow that fell on the gap in the Great World's barrier. Under the blue light, the barrier gradually healed, and the Sea of Realms receded, restoring everything to normal. Only then did Luo Qitian turn to Lin Moyu.
Fellow Taoist, what is your surname?
2315. Chapter 2315. Fish meat from the Sea of Realms. As fellow humans and both being saint sovereigns, Luo Qitian was very polite in his demeanor. He probably didn't expect to encounter a fellow human in the edge of the world, and his eyes showed a hint of surprise. Beside him, Yulaner stood silently, her expression slightly cold. To her, Lin Moyu seemed unimportant. Lin Moyu smiled.
Junior Lin Moyu, I have heard Saint Sovereign House speak of Senior Luo's stories. I didn't expect to meet you here.
Luo Qitian smiled.
Old Hao, if he told you about me, it means you are someone he trusts. I didn't expect that after leaving the human race for so many years, such a young Saint Sovereign would emerge among them. Truly remarkable.
It was hard to tell Lin Moyu's exact age, but he appeared very young. To become a Saint Sovereign at such a young age, he must be an exceptional genius. Lin Moyu humbly replied,
Senior Luo overpraises me. I am just a bit luckier than others.
Luo Qitian laughed.
You're too modest. To reach the Saint Sovereign realm, it can't be just luck.
At this moment, Yulaner suddenly spoke.
You seem to have the aura of my fish clan.
Lin Moyu flipped his hand and took out a shell. The shell was given by Yuqingru, and over time, it had absorbed her aura. Seeing the shell, Yulaner's eyes showed a hint of nostalgia.
How is the fish clan now?
Lin Moyu said.
The fish clan is doing well. Recently, they have been collaborating with the human race to build space gates.
Yulaner was a bit surprised.
Building space gates? How is that possible?
Space gates that could be used by ordinary people were the highest achievement of the fish clan in the field of space. How could they build them for the human race? Yulaner felt that something must have happened. Otherwise, it wouldn't be like this. Lin Moyu said.
It's a long story. The situation within the domain has changed significantly. The 100 tribes have been exterminated, and the human race has regained control of the stars.
Hearing this, Luo Qitian was also shocked. He said,
It seems a lot has happened within the human race over these years. No rush, tell us slowly. Meanwhile, let's enjoy some delicacies that can't be found among the human race.
With these words, Yulaner understood and casually waved her hand. A circular continent with a diameter of 10,000 meters appeared in the starry sky. The continent had trees, water, green grass, and even a small lake. In the center of the lake, there was a small courtyard, which was the home of Luo Qitian and Yulaner. Luo Qitian earnestly said,
Please come to my home and taste some delicacies that can't be found among the human race.
Lin Moyu immediately agreed.
I happen to have some fine wine here. Excellent, excellent,
Luo Qitian exclaimed. In the courtyard, Lin Moyu and Luo Qitian sat around a stove, while Yulaner took out 2 large pieces of meat and began roasting them with the Saint Sovereign's fire. The meat looked like fish, and Lin Moyu could tell it was extraordinary, emitting an unusual aura. Despite being roasted by the Saint Sovereign's fire, the meat cooked very slowly, gradually releasing a unique fragrance. The aroma was as special as the meat, directly reaching the soul. Just by smelling it, Lin Moyu naturally felt a hunger. The hunger arose from his soul, quickly spreading throughout his body, and his stomach growled. Lin Moyu hadn't eaten in a long time, and at his level he didn't need food. He couldn't remember the last time he felt hunger. With a look of surprise, Lin Moyu asked,
Senior Luo, what kind of meat is this?
He had already guessed that it was fish meat, likely from the Sea of Realms, as it was something the human race didn't have. Luo Qitian smiled.
It's a type of fish meat from the Sea of Realms. Indeed, it's fish meat, just as I guessed. Fish Clan roasting fish meat is quite peculiar.
Lin Moyu thought while taking out 2 jars of wine.
Please, taste this fine wine, seniors.
Luo Qitian eagerly grabbed the wine jar and poured it into his mouth, revealing his fondness for good wine. Having been here for so many years, his old stock was probably depleted, making this a rare treat. After a few gulps, Luo Qitian exclaimed,
Good wine! If I'm not mistaken, this must be a fine brew aged for at least 3,000 years from the Luo family in the Divine City.
Though they shared the same surname, the Luo family in the Divine City had no relation to Luo Qitian. However, the Luo family's wine was quite famous in the Divine City, and Luo Qitian had tasted it before. Lin Moyu smiled.
Senior is correct. It is indeed a fine wine from the Luo family in the Divine City.
Luo Qitian took a few more gulps, wiping his mouth.
It's been years since I drank so heartily.
Yulaner watched with a smile, happy to see Luo Qitian enjoying himself. As the fish meat gradually cooked, the aroma grew stronger, and the hunger in Lin Moyu's soul intensified. The aroma alone could affect the soul, making Lin Moyu eager to taste it. Finally, Yulaner finished roasting the fish meat without any seasoning and served it directly. Luo Qitian smiled.
Come, have a taste.
With a few flicks of her fingers, Yulaner cut the fish meat into small pieces. Lin Moyu took a piece and put it in his mouth. Instantly, a rich flavor exploded, and a peculiar power surged into his soul. In an instant, Lin Moyu's aura soared, his entire body's energy and blood activated, and his previously dormant power fully erupted. Behind him, a hazy rule world emerged, filled with starlight and surging with 4 laws. After a few seconds, everything calmed down. The fish meat's flavor was not just a traditional delicacy, but a sublime experience for the soul, an unparalleled enjoyment. The whole process was wonderful. After eating the fish meat, Lin Moyu felt as if he had changed, though it was hard to describe. Luo Qitian and Yulaner were stunned, exchanging looks of disbelief. Even after Lin Moyu recovered, they hadn't fully processed what they had seen. Lin Moyu exhaled deeply.
This meat is truly extraordinary.
Luo Qitian said,
Lin Daoist, you are the extraordinary one, possessing 4 laws and such a powerful and perfect rule world.
Lin Moyu smiled.
I am just a bit luckier than others.
Yulan suddenly asked,
How do you have the space law?
She knew the rules of the Starry Sky Fish Clan. They would never allow others to master the space law. If detected, they would take action to stop it, even to the point of killing. Lin Moyu took out a jade tablet and infused it with his soul, conveying the events of recent years. Some things were too lengthy to explain, so it was better to let them see for themselves. He didn't reveal everything, just the main points. Handing the jade tablet to Luo Qitian, he said,
Senior Luo, please see for yourself. The recent events are all here.
Luo Qitian carefully examined the jade tablet, his expression changing constantly, sometimes in amazement, sometimes in frowns. After a while, he put down the jade tablet and sighed.
I didn't expect so much to happen in just a few hundred years.
Yulaner also took the jade tablet and read it, feeling a mix of emotions.
I didn't expect our clan to re-emerge. I wonder how Luoshan is doing.
Lin Moyu smiled.
Luoshan has become a saint sovereign. I saw her a few years ago. She is searching for you in the outer domain.
He didn't mention Luotian being deceived and ambushed by the Mountain Forest Supreme. That matter was in the past and not worth bringing up. The focus was on Luotian searching for them. Unfortunately, the outer domain was vast, and Luotian hadn't found them yet. Lin Moyu had no solution for this, leaving it to luck. Suddenly, he remembered something and took out another shell. 2316. Chapter 2316. The world is full of wonders. The Starry Skyfish clan is adept at using shells, much like how humans today favor jade, and in ancient times humans preferred pearls. These are all external objects used to carry certain things after refinement. The shells of the Starry Skyfish clan also vary. The shell given by Yuchingru is different from others, each shell containing unique imprints. Lin Moyu suddenly remembered that Luotian had once given him a shell as a small gift. He had tossed it aside and never looked at it again. Upon recalling this, he realized there were many things he hadn't had time to do. Seeing Luotian's shell, Yulanar's face changed dramatically, becoming excited.
This is Shinna's shell.
The shell had Luotian's unique imprint, which Yulanar recognized immediately. As a mother, how could she mistake her child's belongings? Yulanar had been somewhat excited knowing Luotian was safe, but now she was even more so. Lin Moyu handed the shell to Yulanar.
Luotian should be looking for you in the outer domain, but it's too vast, and she hasn't found you yet.
Yulanar held the shell tightly.
We can find her. With this, we can find her.
Using the shell, Yulanar could use the secret methods of the Fish Clan to sense Luotian within a certain range. Originally, Lin Moyu had thought that if they couldn't find her, they could ask White Tiger for help. Using the Fish Clan's essence blood and the bloodline soul tracking, they should be able to locate Luotian. Now it seemed unnecessary. Yulanar had her own methods. Yulanar was very excited and happy, tears streaming down her face.
Thank you, Delis Lin.
Luo Chitian was much calmer.
Thank you, Delis Lin. I had returned to the Fish Clan before but heard that Shinner had already left. I tried to find her but couldn't. Now, our family can finally reunite.
Lin Moyu said.
Congratulations, Senior. I have a question I'd like to ask.
Luo Chitian waved his hand.
Ask away.
Lin Moyu asked.
As far as I know, the lifespan of the Starry Sky Fish Clan's Saint Sovereigns is only 5,000 years. How did Senior Lan extend her lifespan?
Luo Chitian laughed.
So that's what you're curious about. It was actually a coincidence. After Lana gave birth to Shinner, I discovered that her lifespan had broken through the Fish Clan's limit. But her lifespan was unstable, fluctuating. At that time, we were in the outer domain and encountered something.
Lin Moyu knew the origin of the Starry Sky Fish Clan. They were not a naturally occurring species in the Great World but were created by the Space Heavenly Sovereign, so their lifespan was only a tenth of that of humans. Yulanar breaking the lifespan limit after giving birth to Luotian was likely related to Luo Chitian. Luotian had human blood, making her a half-native species of the Great World, with a much longer lifespan than the Fish Clan. Yulanar was influenced by both Luo Chitian and Luotian, breaking through the Fish Clan's lifespan limit. But this breakthrough was not a fundamental change, so it was naturally unstable. At that time, they were in the outer domain and encountered two starry sky beasts fighting to the death over a strange fish's corpse. At that time, Luo Chitian and Yulanar were both at the Bien realm, even weaker than the two starry sky beasts. In the end, the two starry sky beasts were both severely injured, allowing them to take advantage. Anything that could make two Bien realm starry sky beasts fight to the death must be extraordinary. From the strange fish's head, they obtained a bone containing a peculiar power that stabilized Yulanar's lifespan. Moreover, after eating the strange fish's meat, they quickly broke through to the Saint Sovereign realm. However, the power in the bone was limited and couldn't be absorbed indefinitely. So they began searching for strange fish in the outer domain. Strange fish were rare and hard to find, but with the advantage of spatial laws, they managed to find some. Later, they accidentally obtained a trident-like treasure, which was very special and required both of them to activate. This treasure could sense the location of strange fish, break the world's barriers, and bring the strange fish into the great world. After killing the strange fish, the trident could also repair the world's barriers. Since then, they had a stable way to obtain strange fish, and Ulanar's lifespan was no longer an issue. After hearing this almost fantastical story, Lin Moyu couldn't help but marvel at the wonders of the world, where anything could happen. According to Luo Qitian, when they obtained the trident, it was already embedded in a strange fish. That strange fish had actively broken through the great world's barriers and entered along with the Sea of Realms, coincidentally encountering them. Having been to the Sea of Realms, Lin Moyu was more concerned about who owned the trident. A treasure that could easily pierce the great world's barriers was truly terrifying. Luo Qitian generously showed the trident to Lin Moyu. For someone he had just met less than a day ago, Luo Qitian's trust in Lin Moyu was evident. Lin Moyu held the trident and examined it closely. It looked ordinary, even a bit rough, without the sharpness of a powerful treasure. According to Luo Qitian, the trident showed no special traits when not activated. To activate it, they had to use soul power, and only by combining their powers could they barely activate it. Lin Moyu asked,
May I try using it? Of course, I'll help you.
Luo Qitian readily agreed. Such a small request was nothing. Lin Moyu said,
Let me try it alone first.
Luo Qitian laughed.
Sure, no problem.
With a thought, Lin Moyu's vast soul power poured into the trident. Lin Moyu's soul was at the supreme level, far superior in quality to a saint's sovereign's. Moreover, he had the world tree constantly replenishing his soul power, making it nearly inexhaustible. In just 2 seconds, the trident hummed and emitted a glow, releasing a powerful aura. Lin Moyu suddenly sensed a strong primordial power hidden within the trident, usually undetectable, only revealed when activated. With the addition of primordial power, the trident transformed into an extremely powerful treasure, capable of easily piercing the world's barriers. Lin Moyu activated the trident alone, surprising Luo Qitian and Ulaner. What they could only achieve together, Lin Moyu did alone. They realized that Lin Moyu was stronger than they were. After examining it for a while, Lin Moyu understood that the secret to the trident's power was the primordial power within it. He returned the trident to Luo Qitian.
Thank you, Senior. This trident is indeed extraordinary. May I see the fish bone as well?
Without hesitation, Ulaner handed a fish bone to Lin Moyu.
This fish bone is a gift for you, Taoist Lin.
Over the years, they had obtained many fish bones, so giving away 1 or 2 was no big deal. The fish bone was as smooth as jade, contrasting sharply with the ugly appearance of the strange fish. The entire fish had only this special bone in its head, with magical properties. According to Luo Qitian, there were many types of strange fish, some with delicious meat, others not so much. But the bones in their heads all had the same function. Lin Moyu sensed a peculiar power within the fish bone. It wasn't primordial power, but it seemed equally potent. After examining it for a long time, Lin Moyu couldn't figure it out, admitting his limited knowledge. Luo Qitian suggested,
Taoist Lin, you can try refining and absorbing it.
Lin Moyu was intrigued and began refining and absorbing the fish bone as Luo Qitian instructed. 2317-2317. Chapter 2317. The Effect of Fish Bones, Time Reversal. Refining and absorbing the fish bone also required the use of soul power. The method was simple. Just use soul power to evolve the soul fire to refine it. This posed no difficulty for Lin Moyu. In the soul fire, the fish bone quickly melted, eventually transforming into a clear energy that entered Lin Moyu's body. The clear energy circulated through his body before finally settling in his soul. Wherever the clear energy passed, Lin Moyu felt a sense of stability. Indeed, stability, his entire strength became stable, his soul became stable, and his rule world also became stable. His strength itself did not increase, nor did his realm improve. Luo Qitian said,
Do you feel it? Its effect is to stabilize the physical body, soul, and realm. This also includes lifespan, which becomes stable as well. Now Lanar's lifespan is the same as mine, stabilized at 40,000 years. No matter what accidents happen, even if injured, her lifespan will not change. This is its effect. As for the fish meat, it can enhance one's realm, but only at the beginning. Later, it loses its effect and becomes just a delicacy.
For Lin Moyu, a saint sovereign with an incredibly solid foundation, the fish meat had no use. He pondered Luo Qitian's words and his own feelings, suddenly realizing that the so-called stability was not so simple. It wasn't just stabilizing lifespan, it was more about stabilizing the realm. Many powerful beings, after being injured, experience a decline in their realm, leaving hidden injuries that are difficult to recover from. The stabilizing effect of the fishbone could prevent their realm from declining. As long as the injury was healed, they could return to their peak state without leaving hidden injuries. This effect might seem trivial but was actually very important. For Luo Qitian and his wife, the fishbone was used to stabilize lifespan, but for other cultivators, it could preserve their realm, making it a valuable asset for those unafraid of injury. Moreover, its use wasn't like Yulanar's continuous absorption. Instead, it could be absorbed before a great battle. Even if injured during the battle, there would be no need to worry. The effect of the fishbone could last for several decades. Lin Moyu estimated that one fishbone's effect could last for decades. This would provide ample time for healing. If time wasn't enough, another fishbone could be absorbed. There should be many such strange fish in the Sea of Realms. Lin Moyu and Luo Qitian chatted for a while longer, drinking wine and eating meat, discussing recent events within the domain. Lin Moyu also mentioned his purpose for coming to the outer domain, but unfortunately, they had not encountered the Ghost Clan either. The outer domain was vast, making the search harder than finding a needle in a haystack. However, Luo Qitian did give Lin Moyu a lead. About 5 million light-years from their location, there were traces of life activity. Some broken buildings had appeared there. They had encountered them but were too focused on finding strange fish to pay much attention. Luo Qitian devoted most of his thoughts to his wife, even neglecting his daughter. This man loved his wife to the extreme. After a hearty meal, it was time to part ways. Before leaving, Luo Qitian gave Lin Moyu some fish meat as a gift. Lin Moyu continued his search for the Ghost Clan, while Luo Qitian and Yulaner went to find Luo Xin. Opening the space gate repeatedly, Lin Moyu traversed the void, crossing 5 million light-years to the place Luo Qitian had mentioned. The dragon-seeking orb showed no reaction. There were no dragon pearls here. This was expected. The vast starry sky made finding a dragon pearl no easy task. After searching for a while, he finally found traces of life activity. There were some fragments resembling meteorites, which Lin Moyu identified as coming from stars. The stars were just ordinary stars, indicating that stars had once passed through here. The speed of stars couldn't match the expansion speed of the great world. The outer domain's emptiness was precisely because of this. Unless they came from an even older era, but Lin Moyu thought that was unlikely, as that era was too ancient to trace back. Collecting the stars, he continued searching, finding more star fragments. Some fragments were relatively large, still retaining traces of life, though very faint. If not for Lin Moyu's keen soul, he wouldn't have sensed them. Finally, Lin Moyu found more star fragments, forming a meteorite cluster with even denser traces of life.
A star was shattered here. The person who drove the star here once had a great battle with some beings. The battle was fierce, shattering the star and possibly killing many. What was here that caused such a battle?
Lin Moyu's heart stirred, and the time law began to search. Manipulating the time law, he performed a time reversal. The rule world emerged, and vast soul power surged, fully unleashing the time law. The time law enveloped a large area of the starry sky, then transformed into rules. The time law star river extended, covering this part of the starry sky. In the distance of the time law star river was the river of time. Lin Moyu was using the time law for a time reversal for the first time. In the time law, whatever happened in the past would leave traces in the river of time. Although he couldn't enter the river of time, he could use the time law to find these traces and make them reappear. The longer the time reversed, the more power required. Lin Moyu didn't know when the battle occurred, or if he had enough power to reverse it. Regardless, he had to try to find out. The time law star river connected to the river of time, searching for past traces. At the same time, it scattered light and shadows, revealing everything that had happened in the starry sky. For most of the time, this starry sky was silent. Lin Moyu didn't know when the battle occurred. He tried to find past traces, reversing time faster and faster. The consumption of soul power also increased dramatically, and Lin Moyu's pressure grew rapidly. The world tree continuously replenished his soul power. In the blink of an eye, time had reversed 100,000 years. If it were an ordinary saint sovereign, their soul power would have been exhausted long ago. But Lin Moyu could still persist, with the world tree being his greatest support. 100,000 years ago, this starry sky was already like this. Lin Moyu continued reversing 200,000 years, 300,000 years. Time grew longer, reaching 500,000 years ago, and his soul power finally began to run out. The world tree did its best to replenish, but it was still a bit short, unable to keep up with the consumption. Lin Moyu estimated he could last up to 800,000 years, after which his soul power would be completely exhausted. As his soul power dwindled, Lin Moyu struggled more. At 750,000 years ago, the starry sky finally showed changes. Fragments flew, forming a cluster.
Getting closer.
Lin Moyu's soul power was 80 to 90% depleted. Seeing the change, he gritted his teeth and continued reversing. Time flowed, and the meteorite cluster's changes grew more intense. At 800,000 years ago, the changes were even more dramatic. Lin Moyu knew he was close to the time of the great battle but still couldn't see clearly.
Unwilling. One more push.
His soul roared, and the 10-colored dragon soul crystal breathed dragon breath into his soul, providing some soul power. However, providing soul power wasn't the dragon soul crystal's main ability. Its main function was to purify soul power. Doing this now was better than nothing. The world tree scattered golden light, desperately supporting Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu was fighting with all his might, and so was the world tree. 2318.